I just purchased this pre-sale token over here for about $200, and this might be one of the best pre-sales that we had all year. It is called Reactor. It is a full crypto trading stack, unmatched control and speed on chain, built for those who move fast. Currently in the pre-sale where you can buy the token for about 3 cents. It's going to launch at 10 cents, so a 70% discount compared to launching price. They have lots of different mechanics in here that make this interesting. For example, when you buy pre-sale tokens, you also take them away from the team. Then 70% of all the fees that they generate are going to be used to buy back the token. And most importantly, while most pre-sales launch their pre-sale and then they build something after, they already built everything in here, did all the work first. They have a working product and now sell a token after all the work was done, to further grow the ecosystem, all that good stuff. As always, I will leave links to everything down below. Obviously, this one is not financial advice, just showing you something that I think you're going to like as well. Plus, based on quality alone, as like a side note here, based on quality of the website alone, this looks pretty good. And if they already put in a lot of effort into the website and how they present themselves, then I would mark that as one more green flag when it comes to Reactor overall. The platform is officially going to go live in October. Right now you can also sign up for their whitelist, but let's focus on what they do, the tools that they mention, and the long-term vision that they have. Reactor is basically 1inch, the website for traders. So you have smart, route, perpetuals, and spot for the deepest liquidity. It's also an all-in-one aggregator app for swaps, trading pairs, meme coin, staking, lending, all that good stuff. They even have stocks available 24/7. And while trading volume in crypto as a whole went up by quite a lot, especially recently, now that the bull run and alt season is hopefully going to continue, we see volume of almost $20 billion on Binance alone in the last 24 hours, which is great for centralized exchanges, but at the same time, more and more people trade on decentralized exchanges, on DEXs, where we can see over 12.6 billion in the last 24 hours alone. Now, what does that mean? If there's a whole bunch of money that is being used on decentralized exchanges, that means that even a fraction of a percent in difference of price compared to a centralized exchange results in millions and millions of dollars every single day that people save and that make for way better deals. If you were to buy ETH on Binance, for example, it might be at 4,680 on the market right now, but it might be at 4,685 on Binance, while 4,660 on Uniswap, or about 0.5% in difference. Now, if you want to get the best deal every time, you will need to look at every single decentralized exchange and centralized exchange in real time, compare all the data. Way too much work. So how about we don't do any of that work and have something that works for us? Because if everything is fragmented and you have something with the best fees over here, but something with the best swaps here, something with the best convert feature without any fees here, you will need to reroute crypto all the time from one place to another, to a third, to a fourth, in order to get the best deals that you can get. Automate that and you get the best deal every time. And that's just when it comes to the use case. Now, what about the team behind it? What about tokens that rock? That happens sometimes. What about, is it safe to connect your wallet to it? If you want to be 100% secure, you will need to do that for every single project and token and website and DEX, and that's too much work. And that's one of the main reasons why they built Reactor as a platform, calling it a DEX 3.0, where you can trade any token, RWA, iStock, leverage, all of that. Don't take a cent in fees, fully on chain, owned by you. And because they are an aggregator app, so in other words, they take all those different things you have in crypto, from DeFi to lending to different pools to trading pairs to perpetuals, and aggregate that on one single thing over here. It allows to be basically the base that all these good opportunities connect to. You could also say it's somewhat similar to Hyperliquid, which is up by 1,600% in the past year alone, because people seem to like that. When you save money and you get more for what you pay. If you trade on DEXs usually, you might also know 1inch. I, for example, use this for most tokens that are on the Binance Smart Chain, because when I use PancakeSwap compared to 1inch, I get vastly different prices for like half the stuff that I wanted to swap. Issue is though, they don't connect to everything. There's also a limited amount of DEXs and swaps and all that they connect to, meaning there's some money left on the table. So you get the idea, Reactor does all of that combined and better. Again, it gives you 24/7 tokenized stock trading, while also giving you the option to leverage on meme coins, including Pump.fun. So if you buy a token for, let's say, $20 and it doubles to 40, if you have 10x leverage behind that, you don't buy it for 20 and it goes to 40, you buy it for 200 by only using 20 and it goes to 400. Pretty much basic math. Plus, another feature they have is you can provide liquidity as a form of passive yield farming, which then pays you back simply for having money, which means you become the bank. You could even supply liquidity to NVIDIA traders, and then your profits are going to come back in a form and mix of USDC and NVIDIA tokenized stocks. And I like that a lot. Now again, as mentioned in the very beginning of the video, I already invested about $200 into it, which gave me 7,000 tokens. As there is a small bonus that you get for that. I think about a week ago or 2 weeks ago, the price was still at 2.5 cents a token. And whenever a countdown is over, the price goes up. They bring the best crypto tech wrapped in mobile user-friendly packages. And with what they build, plus the quality behind it, I would probably put this at like 500 mil to $1 billion in market cap at first. And then it has to prove itself, see if it is that useful, which would then put it at like 5 to 10 billion, if not more. Considering that just things like Uniswap last bull run, if we look at market cap and all-time high, peaked at 21.5 billion. And I would argue, if you have Uniswap in a lot better, then it's probably going to be worth that much and more. The app is also going to come to both Apple as well as Android. There's going to be Reactor Pay, which I think is pretty sick. I like all those apps that allow you to not just add a card to your Apple Wallet, but also make it easier in everyday use to either withdraw money from an ATM or to pay with it. I'm going to try this out, even if you don't actively trade. That feature alone might be interesting to you. Now the presale is live right now at again 3 cents per token. And with the amount of chains that they have integrated, the global trading volume, which at this stage is like 12 to 15 billion a day anyways, and the long-term vision that they show, I think this one is somewhat of a safe bet. Plus the thing is, when it comes to presales, again, very basic math, if you buy Bitcoin, any amount, if you want your money to double, this needs to go to $230,000. Or in other words, we need $2.3 trillion invested into Bitcoin for this to double its price based on the current amount of coins in circulation. That's a lot of money, which would only give you a 2x. And if you buy this one over here at 3 cents and it launches at 10, that's a 3.3x immediately. Plus, you get 5% additional coins as a bonus, which almost gives you like a 3.5x guaranteed until launch. And because they did list everything in here in more than detailed fashion, you can read about this forever. How they have a math protection and relay system behind it, their pathfinding algorithm, the security behind it with multiple independent audits, formal verification, and more and more and more. Let's focus on the token supply though, because they have a couple interesting features in there. For example, while they do have 25% burned, just mentioned as the biggest percentage over here, and 5% for the team, what is also happening when you buy 1,000 tokens, 1,000 tokens of the team tokens are going to be gone forever. Which means at a certain stage, depending on how many tokens are sold, all the tokens that the team could get are just gone. Plus the tokens that they would get, if there are any left, would be locked for 12 months anyways, with a linear vesting of 24 months after that. Right now we're still at stage 0 early bird, which means there will be a couple more stages after, with the discount compared to TGE, and our current unlock range of about 20%. So if you do get 1,000 tokens, you will get 200, give or take, with 12 months linear vesting and a duration of 2 weeks for that. So keep in mind, you will not get all your tokens all at once. There is vesting to it, which also means they're focused long term and not just, we launch something, it goes up, you sell it, everybody dumps, gone. That happens too often. They're here long term. And we also got 3% for advisors, 2% for KOLs, 20% for the ecosystem growth, which is more than usual, but great that they invest that much into it. Plus liquidity tokens are 20%. Usually I see like 5 to 12% of liquidity. In this case, we have a lot more. So we expect quite a lot of trading volume. And they also have an inbuilt buyback model. I think it was 70% of all the fees generated, plus a percentage of all the profits. Basically, the token is actively going to be bought back and burned, which means when Hyperliquid went from like $3.50 up to $60 recently, which will give you like a 15x on that alone, that can happen here too, as they have a very similar model. And I always like to think, when it comes to coins, while hype and marketing is good in the short term, long term there needs to be a use case or it's going to go to zero. That's why when you look at any gaming token ever, they launch, there's hype and marketing, everybody wants to make money, and then it's dead. Game launches, everybody's hyped, we get invested, we make more, and it's dead. But if you have a working product that people actively use every single day because it benefits themselves, saves them money, gives them more crypto, and has various different options from stocks to lending, perpetuals, leverage, all of that. And it's not just here to stay long term, but based on quality alone, people are going to swap over. And now the Bitcoin is back at almost 116K, and alt season is hopefully going to start soon, in which DEXs are going to be used for everything. As they aren't listed on centralized exchanges, Reactor is something that is going to be super useful in the months and years to come. They also use 10% of the fees that they generate in order to build something like a safety net, which means if it falls below the 90-day average of the token price, that is going to be used to buy back the token. Pretty much most of the fees and the money this generates is going to be used to buy back the token, so it keeps going up. Again, the presale is live right now. Price is going to go up in about a week. You can use different chains to buy it when you connect your wallet. Look into this one yourself though, and you will see they do pretty much everything you ever wanted from a DEX. DeFi is here to stay, and this one is more than solid. I already put in about $200, and I think before the price goes up, I'm going to get a couple more tokens. Also, on top of everything that we talked about, there's also up to 28% APY for React token holders. So you get additional free tokens on top of the free tokens you get if you use my code. I'll click the link down below. Plus, it's gonna launch at 10 cents. In other words, not bad. Let me know what you think. I will leave links to everything in the description down below. Whenever you buy tokens, the same amount is removed from the team's tokens. And with 25% of all the tokens for the presale alone and 20% for the community in form of liquidity, half the tokens are gone that way. 25% are burnt. The deflationary model in here works pretty well. And you never know, maybe soon it's not going to be at 3 cents, but at 4 in the presale, then at 5, then at 7, then it launches at 10, and it goes to like $5 soon after. We'll see how it goes. I have links to everything in the description down below. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.